Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is Ezra McNeil from Ezra Unscripted, where it is no script, but just real life. Today is really an exciting day. Um, I found a brother on Threads, and we have just been cool. Been trying to this episode for a couple of weeks now, but we're finally here. He is the host of the Inner King Initiative, and he's going to tell you more about it. My brother from all the way in Texas, my boy, Mr. Adam Wilson. It's a pleasure for you to be here, sir. Good to see you.
Man, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a full
Yeah,
circle moment, man. Because I remember
yeah.
telling you, like, when I first seen you and you were
Uh-huh.
starting your podcast, something told me I was going to be on here. So
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
in this space is like, okay, God, I see you're giving me these visions and these tidbits, and it's
Yeah,
happening. So I
yeah.
feel good, man. So how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday. I'm just glad we made it through the week. Before we
Absolutely.
got on here, I was telling him, like, I was kind of having an inner fight with this episode, like, and I think because it's important. Sometimes we wrestle each other, we wrestle ourselves, excuse me, when we know we're supposed to do something right. And I think this is one of those episodes where, this is I won't say it's a confronting moment, but this is a moment where it needs to happen. And the topic that we will be speaking about is needed for, of course, you guys and ourselves included. Tidbit: this episode is really for the fellas, but women, you're open to hear this conversation as well. There might be some things that you may not understand, but there also may be some things that will open your eyes to realize some things that you may have seen in your father, in your brother, in your partner, husband, boyfriend, whatever your situationship, something, whatever, whoever you're connected to, this might help you as well. So this is going to be a good one, man. So yeah, I'm so excited. I don't want to just dive right into it, but I because I'm ready. But I
Well,
would love for
okay,
you
I
to
got
just
something to
tell
say with
everybody.
you.
Go ahead.
I about to say I got something to say to what you said earlier to give you a little time.
All
So
right, go ahead,
when
go ahead,
you
go ahead.
said you was wrestling with it internally, that's nothing but
Yeah.
the enemy trying to get you to doubt yourself, trying to say that
Mhm.
I don't know if I could really do this. Like, is this going to pan
Right.
out? But you never
Yeah.
really know what happens until you take that step, right?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. That's very true. And I mean, with that, and that's an everyday thing. Like just wrestling with
Every day.
with ourselves, but also like we listen to the wrong voice sometimes, and sometimes it could mask itself into what we think it is, but at the end of the day, like no, it's wrong. And
Absolutely.
we should know who we are. We should be reminded of who we are and whose we are,
Hmm.
and we just gotta keep going regardless. It's better to just to be obedient than to just just mess it all up and mess it up for the
Absolutely.
people who need to hear it. So we're here now. I'm glad that we are.
Yeah.
There's a woosah,
Because
if you
somebody's
will.
waiting for you. Somebody's
That's
always waiting for you. Take the
for
step.
sure. For sure.
And,
For
and
sure.
and it's and then when you hear those voices, it's really the like I said, it's the enemy trying to get you to doubt yourself, right? And it can come in many forms. I'm already dropping gems right here, so it can come in many forms, right? And it can come from friends, and sometimes they don't mean it. It's just they're being used. They don't really understand it. There's people can only understand to the level of their fear.
Yeah. Mm,
And so
mm,
if you think about it, the devil he's a shapeshifter. He manipulates. He showed up
hmm.
to Eve as a snake. Eve wasn't
Right.
going to question a snake being in the garden,
Yeah.
right? You're not
Yeah.
going to question your friend coming to bring you advice.
Very true.
So who are
Very
you
true.
listening to? The world or God?
That's very true. He's crafty. I can't even lie. He's very crafty, but we know what we're supposed to do, and we're just going to do it regardless of how we feel. But
Absolutely.
now I want people to know who you are because the Inner King Initiative is a dope podcast. I was just watching your latest episode. Um, Really great stuff, man. And for it to be a platform for men, um, I mean all men, but more specifically Black men, it's a lot that we hide. It's a lot that we kind of just suppress. It's a lot that we kind of want to or need to forget about. But all those things are mandatory for us to really be our best selves. And you talk about all these things. And if you just want to tell the crowd about, who you are, where you come from, how it came about, all these good things, and then we'll get right into it.
Got you, got you. So,
Yeah.
my name is Adam Wilson. I am from Houston, Texas. Right. I didn't grow up in a household where it was a lot of love in it. I didn't see men taking care of themselves. I didn't see mental health. What I saw was just, I'm going to work every day. I'm going to get the women. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's, various guys you see throughout life, but that was the time back in the day.
Right.
And so I grew up, my parents actually divorced when I was 7. That spiraled me into a real long, like, abandonment issues, self-doubt issues, because I wasn't getting what I needed as a kid. So fast forward to 16, I actually wanted to commit suicide. I was like, man, it's getting bad. But it took other guys around me, like my football coaches and like my teammates. Nobody knew, honestly. One of my football coaches just found out last year when I seen him for the first time. We talked.
Wow.
And so it's like, you never know who you're impacting. Somebody may not come and say, hey, you're impacting me, but that doesn't mean you're not making an impact.
Right.
And so fast forward, I went through college and everything, just living the life, right? And I said, I was in tech for 10 years. And I said, one of the things I wanted to do was to make 6 figures. That was my goal. I surpassed that goal.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, what now? And it's like you said earlier, like, how do we figure out there's more? It's like, you just know, like, you just feel it, like your spirit is disturbed, but your mind and your body follows your spirit.
Right.
Right. And so your spirit gets disturbed. And it's just like, something's wrong, something's wrong. So I went through that. And I remember God saying, leave your job.
Mm.
I had a whole family, leave my job. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And I ended up doing it. Right. And it was like a season for like 18 months. I had no income. Right. And he was like, okay, now go figure out what you want to do next. So I'm on this whole journey of trying to figure out, what do I want to do next? I landed on coaching kept coming up for me. And I'm in like these coaching programs, and it was a health coach program that I found at IIN. So I went through the program. I was working on myself, building myself in this season, and just I got my certification. I was like, okay, what now? Like, how
Right.
do I take this? Podcast had started during that time too. Back then, it was actually called the Underdog Lounge. I had a
Mm.
co-host. We were on it together. We were pretty much kind of doing the same thing, but just not really focused towards Black men.
Okay.
Uh, he ended up disappearing on me. He did, and then I went through this phase of rebranding, and I went through hustle and heal because I was hustling, but I wasn't healing.
Okay.
And that
Okay.
seems to be a trend around a lot of men, Black,
Yeah.
white, whatever. We're working. We're always working because we're supposed to go get the
Right.
bag because society said so, right?
Right.
But what about the healing aspect of yourself? Because when you heal yourself, all those things come to you. It wants to
Yeah.
be around you, right?
For sure.
And so I did that for a while after I really got through that. And I said, nah, it's still not feeling right. It's still more to this. And I went through a season. I said, okay, in this year, I'm going to name this the Inner King Initiative, because as kings, we are made in the like in the image of God, right?
Yes.
God is a king. Jesus is a king.
Yeah.
Dominion, right?
Right.
We have inner kings in us, and we have to rise that inner king.
Yeah.
And
I
so
like
that's
that.
how I did it. And I was like, man, I really want this to be a platform where fellas can come, they can hear other stories and say, man, I'm not the only one who's going through that. Or if somebody just needs to get something off their chest or they want to share their story, come on. Like, it's literally a safe space for men, and it's taking off, man. That's an attest to taking that one step. Like,
Yeah. For
and
sure.
it may not look how you want it to look in the beginning, but
Yes.
you got to just keep going. I wanted
Yeah.
to have the studio. I wanted to have the team. I wanted it
Hmm.
all, right? I started off with a white wall. This wall
Yeah.
actually was white,
Wow.
and it was on Zoom. And Zoom actually cut out at the end of my episode. I still
Oh,
put
you
it
had
out.
the free? You had the free 30
Yeah,
minute?
Matt the Free Boy.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
Hey,
It'd be like that.
bro, I had no money at that time. So it was like, you have to just do it the way that you have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
However it
No.
looks, and let it build.
Yeah. And that is a issue with because we're a little younger than you, but you see it too. The microwave generation. This is what
Yeah.
I'm a part of. We think we just got the LLC name, the EIN number. I
Mm-hmm.
get the million tomorrow. That
2
is
months.
what that will never be the case. And the only time you
Mhm.
had that is if you had a PPP loan during COVID. If you know, you know.
And half
But
those people are in jail now.
exactly, exactly. So I think for me, especially even with this show, like and what you've gone through, this is a slow burn. This is a gradual ascension. When you put the work in, God will do the increase.
It
And
will.
and that for some it may be confusing, but I think that is the easiest math equation ever created. Like the work that we put in over time, we build our character, we build our we just build our we build our character and we fine tune our skills. Once we incorporate that, God has to do nothing but keep his promise and say, like, all right, I trust you with this little. We're going to take it to a higher heights. And
Exactly.
I want people just to remember that, like, even with your show, with my show, with anything that you see from people that do hard work, it takes time and it takes a lot of hard work. It takes sacrifice.
Mhm.
You had no income for 18 months. What the hell?
What the hell?
What the hell? With a family. And you
Yeah.
still made it happen. He sustained you. So kudos to you, man. I appreciate that so much
Appreciate
because
that for
that
sure.
just helped me with some stuff too. Because I'm just like,
Yeah, you gotta go.
like, yo,
And you
this
have
week,
to realize what season you're in too,
yes, yes, yeah,
because there is a such thing as a practice season where
okay,
God drops the vision in your mind and tell you you know where you're going, but you have to
hmm
practice it. That was the
hmm
first 2 segments of me podcasting.
wow, wow,
Nobody was watching. Nobody was watching, but I was still putting out content. I struggled to get over 25. No, I lied. I struggled to get over 10 subs. I got to 10, then I struggled to get to 15 and 20. Today,
hmm
I just made 100.
Congratulations to
Literally.
you.
That slow burn, appreciate it. But
Over.
my show didn't start turning off until this last integration. So whatever you're building, grow as you grow. So if
Yeah,
you're growing, it's growing. That's why I always tell the fellas, focus on yourself. Focus on your inner king, your self-healing, your self-love, because
right.
even that's for anybody, really. Because when you
hmm
focus on those things, everything around you gets better. The perception of the world gets better.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's 100%. So one of the things, or one of the main things that you talk about on your show is getting out of survival mode. And this is what this episode is really about. Those that don't know, this is going to be a series. This is going to be class, honestly. It's not,
Masterclass.
yeah, this is going to be a master class. And I think it's just so important for us for now. I think for men, truthfully, we're in an epidemic. And I think this epidemic just looks like us not being the real men we need to be. And you can I don't care what people say. You can try to make a definition of what a real man is. The prime example for me, what a real man is Jesus Christ himself. The
Amen.
lion and the lamb.
Hmm.
And however you may feel about that, that's your opinion. You don't have to listen to it. But if you do listen, I hope that you learn something from it. I'm not perfect. Adam's not perfect, but we know a perfect
Far from
person.
it.
But we know a perfect
Far
person
from
that
it.
has done it all for us, and is still
Mhm.
doing it. But, surviving, a lot of us are going through that because we're trying to make things, like you said earlier, like keep it to society standards and just
Mhm.
doing the best that we can. Of course, you've heard the Andrew Tates, the Kevin Samuels, the whomever, God
Mhm.
rest his soul. But those aren't the best people to give us the perfect example of what it should be. So with surviving, to me, it doesn't look like living.
Right.
Truthfully,
It's not
surviving.
living, actually.
No, it's
It's not
not.
living at all.
It really looks like you remember. And I'm showing my age, but the episode when Squidward was in the Squid Town or whatever, and every day just
Mhm.
looked the same, and every day
Yep.
he got excited, and then he just got more depressed and more depressed and more
Mhm.
depressed. That's
That's
what survival
survival.
mode. That's what survival mode looks like to me. Maybe I kind of feel like I'm in there a little bit. I think this is why the podcast was also a help for me, to put me in a better place. But a lot of guys are out there are just doing it to try and live this life. but they're just existing at the end of the day.
Right.
So let's be real with it. You know, a lot of men, they aren't living; they're just surviving the life that they built, and they hate the jobs that they're working, and they're carrying the pain that they've never processed, and they're pretending to be strong because no one has ever taught them how to be honest. And that
Right.
is the scary part. And a
Ooh,
lot of
it
us
is.
don't realize it. And a
It's
lot of
scary to
us
be
don't
honest
realize
because
it.
you had to be
Yeah,
honest with yourself first.
right. A lot of us, we just don't know. And I think if they are honest with themselves, they're going to be scared of the reflection that they see afterwards. But it's all a mosaic at the end of the day. These broken pieces make a piece of art at the end of the day. So
It
let's just
does.
get through it and do what we're supposed to do. So I guess this first question would be for you. I kind of said my answer, but what does survival mode look like for a man today?
Whew. So survival mode looks like the old way that men were taught to live.
Okay.
Always working, not taking days off, paycheck to paycheck, not taking care of yourself physically and mentally. You're not reading books. You're just going with the ebbs and flows of life, right? You're not really the ebbs and flows, but the mundane life. I'm just gonna go to work. I'm just gonna, make money. I'm providing for my family. I'm not really attentive. I'm making bad decisions because I have no knowledge of finances. I'm just
Mhm.
doing things with no knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're always trying to figure out what's next. See, when you're in that survival mode, that means your body is always in a panic. You're always
Mhm.
panicking. Your nervous system isn't rested. You're
Yes.
trying to because it's trying to find a safe place because you stepped out, or one, something's wrong because there's more.
Right.
Two, you're in that space is like, okay, things aren't going good as I want them to go, and I'm freaking out. I've been in both of those places, and they're
Mm.
not fun. But
No,
it's when you really talk to yourself and see yourself in that mirror, brush your teeth, look yourself in the eyes, and really talk to yourself and say, "Hey, I'm him." Right?
mm,
I'm strong. I just uplift yourself because you can't uplift yourself. You're not going to uplift anybody else. Right?
for sure. For
And
sure.
even if you're listening to this podcast, you're already taking the right step in the direction, step in the right direction. There you go. Any self help podcast, if you're listening to the ones that's just talking about X, Y, and Z that has no benefits to your growth,
Mhm.
you're wasting your time.
Yeah. 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 I think for that, there's been just too many people talking about nothing,
Nothing.
and it's masked into something, but it's not a lot of people that's telling the real. That is being honest. And that's
It's
all
because
that
drama and
matters.
sales mess.
Of
I
course.
mean, mess
Of course.
sales. There you go.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe I don't know if I should say Imma say it anyway. Like Zeus and that crap, my gosh.
But you see, you have to detach yourself from those type of things. So I was
Yeah,
following like Spirit World and what's the other one? All them, right?
yeah, the Justin
And
LeBoy, the just
yeah,
the
like
it
all them. Yeah, I had to just start unfollowing people. I was like, I
yeah,
can't see this. The women I
yeah,
was following, let me unfollow these. You're not benefiting me at all. Now, when you
yeah,
look down my timeline, it's motivation, it's
yeah,
inspiration, it's God, it's
yeah,
people I know who are doing good in the world. Random videos,
right,
but never like the trashy stuff. It's like you have like we on these social media platforms, and you really have to like curate what you see. And
for
it's the
sure.
same thing outside of social media. You have to curate your life to what you want to see that's going to
Yeah,
benefit you.
yeah, you gotta curate your friendships, your relationships,
Yeah.
you gotta curate just how do you just steward your body? You gotta you gotta curate that, like, with what you eat, with what you see, what all those things, so I definitely do understand that. But for a man, like I said before, sometimes we don't even realize that we're there. So how does one even get there?
I think it's just God gets you there at your appointed time. It's like he pricks you and something just wakes you up.
In
Because if you
survival
don't,
mode or
yeah, like when you're in survival mode or
yeah, yeah,
when you
like
know there's more.
how does sorry, no, still kinda sticking with survival mode, like, how does how does a man even get there?
How does he get to survival mode is what you're asking.
Yeah.
It could be a range of things. It could be bad decisions that you made like in your 20s. It could be childhood hurt that you're still holding on to, that you have no realization that you're holding on to it until you start talking. That's why I started the community because I said we have to start talking, right?
Yes.
One of the things I've always said is Black men do not have safe spaces. I was saying that for
Mm,
years. And I
mm.
was like, I got to stop saying it and I have to create it because you have to get in these rooms to realize, like, okay, something is wrong with me. You have to take a chance because if you don't see higher than yourself, you're not going to know nothing's wrong.
That's
So
true.
you can actually you can realize you're in it by just trying something new. Honestly, going to a conference, listening to a new podcast that's educational, picking up a book and realizing like, oh, there is more. And so you start to get through these layers and you're like, okay, something is wrong with me. I need to figure it out. One book I recommend to any and everybody, especially at the beginning of your journey, is The Untethered Soul.
Okay.
And it really dives down into like your childhood and how you probably locked yourself into a fortress that you can't even get out of. And it's so dark and you don't realize that the world is so much bigger than those issues that you had.
Wow. Who wrote that?
Uh, I got it. Hold on.
Uh,
But go ahead.
Put in the
'Cause I
show
forgot top
notes.
of my head.
Don't worry.
I got you.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think I've not just for me, but for others, we how should I say it? It's it's tough. It's tough when it's just been the normal all your life. Like you said,
Yeah.
what you see is all that you know. And you think that it's the normal. But when you realize like it's okay, so for you, when did you realize that this wasn't the normal?
Mm. Oh, to answer your first question, the writer's name is Michael Singer. But to answer
Marcus,
that
okay,
question,
cool. Yeah.
so man, so when I was a kid, my brother actually introduced me, not really physically, but like, his videos to ET.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
And so I was listening to Thank God It's Monday every Monday, like that kid that's like, doing all
Yeah.
those things. I fell off of it. Like I fell off of it hard. I became a teenager, went to college, did all these things, right? And back in that time I bought ET's first book. He signed it, wrote my name in it, everything. And one day I found it and I
Mhm.
opened it up and I was just like, oh man, like
For those who don't
I
know the
remember
hip hop
this.
teacher. For those who don't know,
Uh,
E.T. the hip hop teacher, right?
preacher.
No, the hip hop preacher. Excuse me. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. So I started tapping back into his videos again.
Okay.
And then and this is around the time when God, no, this is like maybe a couple months after God said, leave your job. No, first I found Jeremy Anderson first. You know who that
Okay.
Jeremy Anderson next
Yeah,
level?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
good guy.
I'm scrolling on IG one day and he pops on the screen, bald, light skinned guy just yelling at me.
Yeah.
Basically, remember like the old school like commercial? He was like, "Why are you sitting on the couch? Get up, go make
Oh,
something happen with your
yep.
life." That's
ICDC.
exactly how
Yep.
I felt listening to him, and I
Uh-huh.
was just like, "Man, there's something more, right?"
Yeah.
So I started following him. He was giving out free events. Back at that time, I didn't have money, right? And so this is a testament. Money's not an excuse. I didn't have money, so I was just jumping on all the free stuff and free
Mhm.
stuff. And I would see like opportunities to be like, hey, you could pay for this. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Let me jump into it. And it always seemed like when God wanted me to be in something, I had the money for it. So then I
Oh,
started tying him to people. I
ain't that
realized he was linked to ET, right?
Mhm.
And then Inky Johnson, I have created this atmosphere of people. Because once you find somebody, you find a network,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so I just started diving into it. I went to February of 2020, what was that? 24. God said, you're going to get baptized this year.
Nice.
Okay. Never been baptized in my life. Didn't realize what it was.
Mhm.
Jeremy Anderson had a podcast called Next Level Living. His cousin is called his co-host. And she started telling her story about like how at the conference, and I had already planned to go to the conference. She was like at the conference, she got baptized the last year and all these different things or whatever. And as I was listening to her, God was like, yep, in
Yep.
June.
Right.
And June came somehow, some way. I got into the academy in February. By May, I had a litter of puppies in March, right? And I sold all of my puppies. And at the end of that, I sold the puppies. I had enough money to go to Atlanta for the conference and
Wow.
catch up on some stuff that I had.
Yeah.
So me and my wife actually got in the car, drove from Houston to Atlanta, about 12, 13 hours. We
Yeah.
left with $400 left in our pockets after we
Wow.
paid bills to keep lights on and stuff and make sure our kids had what they needed. And We got to New Orleans. Her mom ended up giving us money. We got to Atlanta. My mom paid for our hotel room. And I was like, see, when you take the journey that God tells you to take, he's going to make sure you have what
It's
you
gonna bring
need.
the people. Yep.
Exactly. And so I'm in the conference and I'm like experiencing this, like my life is changing, dude. Like, and then that was the first time I ever came out and just told people like, I'm really going through it right now. Like, this is a faith trip for me. And
Mm,
as I said that, I seen the blessings come in. People were just like, hey, here's money. Like, here you go, here you go. And I'm like, I have enough money to eat for this entire weekend.
wow.
Like, this is
Wow.
insane. And get back home. And so I got baptized that next morning. Bro, I felt like, yeah, you normally jump in the pool, just feel like you just jumped in the pool. That day,
Yep.
like, I really felt like I was getting covered. And
Mm,
I was like, man, like this has become addicting. Like, I know there's more. And that's what really set me going. Just being in
wow.
a new space, a new room, something I never did before.
Wow. That's incredible how, I mean, first off, just the faith journey, if you will, it's that kind of like that road to Damascus type of deal. Like you kind of you got fallen off the horse, but then you saw what you needed to see, and that changed your life for the better. So that's crazy, and I think I can relate in some sense where there's been times where I'm just like, man, I ain't got this, but all right, with what I have, like
How can I
especially
make
with
it
your
work?
money thing. Yeah, like money isn't an excuse; it's just a
Mm,
resource because
exactly.
you can still do without it, do a lot without it. It's just up,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just up to you if you're gonna take the shot or not, like
Hmm.
legit. Um, so that's amazing. And I have some other questions, but with that,
You good?
did you did you meet Jeremy and them, or did you ever speak with them, or like what outside of your baptism moment, what were some of the biggest impacts that really just that got you even to here?
Man, actually, after I came out the water, I got to dap Jeremy up. And when I did
Oh,
it, he gave me a hug and I said, man, I thank you so much for helping me be a better man, a better father, and a better husband. And he
yeah,
was like, man. And it was just him. It was like just seeing the people that I was listening to and shaking their hands and building connections with them, meeting new people. A lot
yeah,
of those people I met in that room, I've done some kind of business with. I've learned from it some place because everybody has their own backgrounds, right?
right.
So I have somebody I can go to about health stuff like farming
Hmm.
and like healthy eating. I have somebody I can go to about like business. You just never know who you really meet in these rooms.
Yeah,
And so just being in that atmosphere, just realizing like there is more, realizing that baptism was really big for me. And just having that time with my wife, man, that was a really big one too, because at that point it had been a year since I had working. So we had did anything besides sit in the house.
wow, wow. And that was the next question. Thank you for saying that. With your wife, let's be honest, women are looking for the provider and the protector
Hmm.
for sure. With with you being without, some some women, they just might leave off. But I think that could lead into you never kept your word, or you really didn't mean it when you went to the altar saying for better and for
Hmm.
worse, right?
Right.
So I've never been married. I would love to one day. Never truly seen the best examples,
Me
but
neither
that,
though.
yeah, except for a couple of relationship that I've seen, and they've helped me even just grow to where
Let
I'm
me
at
say,
right
if you
now.
watched all the black sitcoms coming up, you've seen a good example.
Yeah, that's true. But in real
I mean,
time,
yeah,
yeah. How was that for her? To really just, yeah. I
it
don't want
was a
to.
journey for her, honestly.
I'm sure. How?
If you think about like a lot of, especially 'cause I'm a millennial, right? A
Hmm.
lot of the millennial women, they were all raised to like, I don't need a man. I get it on my own. It's me, me, me. That's what she learned. That's what a lot of women learn, right? And so when they have these reactions, it's kind of like we have to have empathy and remember, like, okay, she's dealing with something too.
Yes.
And I didn't have that at first. So let me go back. So it was hard for her because she was used to always bringing in the money. And one day I told her, I said, God said, leave your job. She was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, you too." Right?
Mm.
And
She was in
around
tech
this
also?
time. Hmm?
Was she in tech also?
No, she's a teacher.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, you got to leave your job. And around this time, Jeremy kept sharing this story about how he left how God told him to leave his job and his wife left too.
Mm.
And so, like, we're listening to that. We're like, okay, so this can turn out a different way, and that's
Yeah.
why it's important to listen to higher people, right? Higher vibrational people, people who figured it out. Let me say
Who've
like that,
done it,
not
yeah,
better,
right.
right? And so, and that doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, because there was a time where she looked at me and she was just like, "I don't even trust you to take care of the family anymore." And I was like, wow. Like, wow. I've been doing my thing for these years, right? But now it's like I'm in this phase. I'm trying to figure it out too. You don't trust me anymore.
Yeah,
But it was a journey for her, because now she's at this point. She's just like, I completely trust you, right? And it's like when we're going through these seasons, you have to be okay with failing, because your failure isn't just for you. Me failing over and over, I learned a lot, but it also taught her patience. It also taught her how to trust me and see, like, okay, I can see God working. Now she's seeing it. She used to crack jokes and be like, I need my ROI. I'm like, I got you. And
that
um
that's
and
good.
when God tells you something, he sends it first, he whispers, right?
Yes,
It gets a little bit louder, and then eventually it's like you cannot ignore him, because he's
yeah,
going to get his point across.
for sure.
And a story for that was like, when I told her to leave, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna finish out the year," and I'm just like, "No, like, put your 2 weeks in now. It's time for you to go." And she kept fighting me on it. One day, it was a Thursday. God said, type her up a resignation letter and send it to her. So I was like, all right. I'm in here, I'm typing it up, I'm sending it to her. And I said, "Hey, I sent you the resignation letter. I feel like you're gonna need it soon." She's like, "Okay." So she comes home that evening. At this point, we only had one car, because I sold my car to make sure we had money at one point to keep our house.
Yes.
And she goes to Kroger, to the grocery store, and she goes to the one that we don't go to.
Mm,
And I was like, "Why did you go there?" She
right.
went and somebody hit the car, to the point to where she was completely okay, but the car was totaled. I said, "That is insane." Well, it wasn't total. Yeah, it had severe damage on it. We couldn't drive it. So we
Okay.
went 2 months without a car while they were fixing it. And in the first 2 weeks of that, her boss kept like, "Oh, you can't miss. This is a blackout day." And she was just like, "Dude, like, I can't get there."
Yeah,
He's offering to pay Ubers, but not following through on it. And we're doing the numbers. I said, if you were to go to work, Uber there, Uber back, it's over $100. There's no point in you going, right?
no.
And he kept trying, and I said, "Just turn in your resignation letter." She sent it in, and I said, "Dang, God, I really did need that."
Yeah. For
And it was crazy. And come to find out, he was trying to fire her and her whole team. Like, it
mm,
was a big thing, and he didn't even turn in her resignation letter to HR. And I said, "See?" I said, "God sees things that we don't see.
right.
He knows what's coming. So when he's telling us to do something, you have to be obedient and do it."
Yeah, you gotta he's just preparing you. It's gonna happen, but you
Exactly.
can either pay attention or you just get hit by you get blindsided, but
It's gonna be a
it
dump truck too. He gonna hit you
yeah,
hard.
that's crazy,
And so for
wow.
her, it was a lot of like, she had to figure it out on her own. Like, I just prayed for her. I couldn't fight with her. I didn't want to argue with her. I knew
Mhm,
my goal was to focus on me, my coaching, my podcasting. But I knew God had her, so I was cool with it. And
okay,
it took, as a man, you had to learn how to take blows, especially a
right,
married man. Because there's
right,
going to be a lot of times where you mess up. There's going to be a lot of like ups and downs. So in that moment, I had to learn how to take the blows of disappointing her.
mm,
So
mm.
now I know
And
what it feels like.
yeah, yeah, I think for me, 'cause I like with my excuse me, with my guys that are married, I talk about this all the time with them, and I think what I'm learning now too, especially when that time comes, is that yes, I want to be the utmost of the provider, of the protector, the breadwinner, if you will, all these things just to make sure my wife and my family is taken care of. But also I gotta understand because I'm human, I will mess up. It's inevitable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to mess up. So although I'll do my best to not fall, but there's going to be a stumbling block somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And I just won't be able to I can't I'll try my best to miss it, but if I do fall, at least at least well, like Bible says, a just man falls 7 times, but gets back up 8. At least I have
Exactly.
enough. wherewithal and wisdom to be like, all right, I'll get through this. God, I trust you. But just make sure that the trust that I have, it's also in my wife, and that she sees the God in me, making sure that I'm doing all that I can to make sure stuff happens, and that this is not going to be a for everything.
Absolutely.
That's incredible how she stuck it out with you, because she had to be like, yo, God, this Negro is
This ain't
crazy.
it. This ain't it. Why am
Like,
I here with him? Like,
exactly.
you never know what women be thinking, man. And you just have to give them compassion, especially as the leader of your household, because you don't really, you're learning what she went through, but you don't really understand how it affects until she's
Yeah.
in therapy, you're in therapy, and you're having this just journey together.
Right. Right. No, that's what a story, man. That's crazy. So for
But
you
we
guys,
also
for
too,
uh-huh.
go ahead. Oh,
Go
I was
ahead.
about to say also too, as men, we have to, well, as people, we have to realize providing looks more than financial. It
Talk about it.
looks like provision can look like just me giving emotional support, relational support, just being there, just providing my time. Cause
Yeah,
that is more valuable than money, to be honest with you, your time.
for sure.
Because once you're gone,
That's it.
there's nothing left. The money stays, but you go.
That's it. No,
Right. Just
seriously.
providing that love.
And that's crazy because like I said, my cousin, he passed away, Taylor, he passed away in February. He left a wife and 5 children. And he was the guy. Like, he was really the guy. The His three favorite words was, I got you. Like, he was big. He was a man's man, like a hustler's hustler, a provider's provider. And that's gone.
Right.
Um, and it's unfortunate, and it's so sad, not just for the family, but for his personal family.
Yeah.
That to just have that not there. So I know me and some cousins, and especially folks that are with them with the family, South Carolina. We just got to be the biggest examples. For
Just gonna
for
show
the
up with
for the,
love.
yeah, for the kids, and just to show love for them. So it's amazing. It's just amazing how in all things that does happen, God is good. But we just
Amen.
have to, but we just have to, I always say this, that, like, you can never pick the cards that you dealt, but you have the ability to play them the best way you can.
Right.
So what do you just make out of it in those situations? With you, you trusted God, and look where you're at now. She trusted God and you. Now she's in a better
She's
in a
good.
better state. Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
So
She
it's
being there
it's
making bread and stuff now, just living her little soft girl era life, whatever they call it.
right. Yeah,
She's enjoying herself.
it's at the end of the day, it will all be good. It will all be good. So when it comes to surviving, um, I guess for you, or you could just talk about guys in general, but when did you realize survival mode just wasn't enough?
When I made 100K and it was still unfulfilled.
Got you. Okay.
Like, because for me, so long it was getting the six figures, getting the money, because I wanted to go on the trips. I wanted to get the car. I had all that stuff, dude. All of it. And I was still like, something's wrong. Like, I
Mm,
don't feel right. Right. And
mm,
and it was just like I have to figure out me. It's really a journey to find yourself.
mm.
And you're finding yourself, and the reason why you're scared to really look yourself in the eyes, because the devil doesn't want you to. He wants you to be scared to do it, because once you start to look in that mirror, so we have to stop saying, "Oh, I'm scared of what I might see." Is I'm excited for this person I'm supposed to meet. Like, who am I supposed to be? Because this isn't
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Smoking weed every day, got a liquor cabinet, look like an alcohol store. Like,
Wow.
it's like just drinking bottles and stuff every day. It was like,
Yeah.
it has to be more than this. Chasing the
Yeah.
women for what?
Yeah. But I'm working on it.
We all
I
working, we
hear
work,
you.
bud.
I hear you though. I hear you. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest.
Hey,
But
we all have our vices, man. We all have our
yeah,
thing that God is still working on.
no, for sure. And yeah, and I think so. So for you, it was always, not always, but it was just you never felt fulfilled. Well, you didn't feel fulfilled once the money came.
Yeah, I didn't feel fulfilled at all. I was still empty. And so, I'll be honest with you, in the last 2 years, from when I really started coaching to now, I really just started making money coaching.
Right.
But
Okay.
before that, I was coaching for free here and everywhere. Like any conversation, I was always coaching. I was Ubering. I was coaching people in my car. Like it was
Wow.
reps. It was practice every day.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I'm at
Okay.
4 o'clock in the morning Ubering. I'm talking to business owners. I'm learning from them. I'm picking up
Yeah.
random people and I'm speaking life into people. It was like really, I became that person, that coach that spoke life into. And
Mhm.
so I had way more fulfillment walking in that purpose than I was making money.
And
And
you was
now
getting
that
five.
I'm,
You was getting
yeah,
5 too.
absolutely getting nice tips. But now that
Yeah.
I'm like in the space where it's just like, okay, I can really generate revenue in my business. It's
Mhm.
like, all that was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. When when you realized you weren't fulfilled, were there a time where you was avoiding it? Like, I'll shrug it off. Let me make another 100,000. Or was there ever a time when you were running from it, or just immediately it was just like, yeah, something has to change?
Well, it first started off, I didn't know like off rip, right? I
Okay.
made the money and we were still traveling, having fun. I was in it. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until I started hearing that voice that said, quit your job. And I'm just like, well, right before that, I started to feel uncomfortable working
Mm,
where I was working at. And I was just
okay.
like, man, I was just out of the blue. I was like, I just don't want to work here anymore. And at this
Mm,
job, I'm traveling, I'm going to different places, like consulting, and I'm getting money. And I'm like, quit my job.
this
Like,
ain't
why do
it.
I feel like this? Like, what
Yeah.
is it? Like, something just doesn't want me to be here anymore.
Right.
But that was God telling me to leave that space. Hindsight 2020, that's exactly what that was. And
Yeah.
so it took a while. I fought it for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then it
Okay.
was one day, and I even talked to my wife about it, and she was just like, don't leave. Because we went from that fear mindset of like, okay, if you don't have a job, then what are we gonna do?
Right.
Right. And so I was like, okay, I'll hold it off. But think about it. The devil will use somebody like that. And for
Mhm.
her, it was genuine care.
Yeah.
But the devil was like, hey, talk to him about this to create fear in him so that way he won't do it.
Mm,
And that voice just got louder and louder till one day I typed it up and I was just like, okay, just in case. Right.
right.
Kept going about the next morning. I was like, submitting this. I'm done.
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
just took off from there.
Wow. Well, I can relate to that. My I guess my answer is a little bit different because I got fired. I got
Sometimes
fired
that
from
happens though.
yeah.
Sometimes that happens. You'll get
So
fired.
I worked in sports sales. So I was selling tickets to a great franchise. And mind you, I was a state away. I don't want to, if you know, you know, because it was plastered all over on my Instagram. I don't want to say nothing, but I felt that same thing. I knew I knew I wanted something different. It was amazing though, meeting a lot of great people, commission. And for anybody who is in sports sales, some of it, yes, it is amazing because you get to see the games, you get to meet a lot of people, just doing the ins and outs of the arenas, unlimited PTO. It's amazing. Like it is really a great job. So if you ever thought about it, go ahead and do it. But if it's not for you, that's okay. For me, it was tough because I was like, man, I really do enjoy this job. I love the people who are here, but I know this isn't it. Like, this was just something for me to learn and to just equip myself in, but it's time to bounce. I'll just say how I got fired. So, of course, we have to make quotas and things like that. Well, actually, I was trying to get a promotion because I didn't love the organization, did not like the position I was in as just a regular associate.
Makes
And
sense.
yeah, and uh, I was in the interview process for the next position to just to for the promotion. Great interview, all that good stuff. For some reason, like that weekend, the no a day before, something didn't feel right, and I was like, yo, this might be it for me, but we'll see.
Yeah. Your spirit always knows.
But also, too, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to. So
That's another
they
sign
had
that you're not supposed to be there.
right. So because I was just like, yo, I love these people, but I was making fake phone calls. Guys, if you're trying to be in sports, never ever do this because every phone call will be recorded. And I was making fake phone calls, like dial, hang up, dial, hang up. like 120 before lunchtime, and all you're supposed to do is make 100 like for the day. And brought me in. I was like, okay, what's going on? I was like, oh, this might be it. So
Busted.
yeah, busted, red-handed, and it was so crazy because they did like me, but they had the zero tolerance policy, and they
Absolutely.
was just like, "Yo, we got to let you go." But what I do, what with them, I was honest, and because if why would I lie? And all the evidence is right there.
Right.
So I didn't want to burn a bridge, but that happened. It was crazy because when I was walking with a box of my stuff, like
That walk
the
of shame.
the pursuit of happiness, just I was.
Yep.
It was just like I met someone else that I knew that they had just got fired from, and it was just like, man, like going through it,
Yeah, you
but
start to meet people. It's crazy, ain't it?
yeah, but it was crazy how even looking at now, although I'm not where I want to be yet, I'm working towards it, but I
Absolutely.
feel better and it feels like this is what is supposed to be done. So I definitely understand that for you, just kind of taking that step of faith to just do it, start to live and not to
Yep.
exist, regardless of what it may look like. You begin to live, although it may look a little murky, but you begin to live afterwards, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And you have to ask yourself, what's my standard for my life? Like,
Yes,
what am I willing to accept? What am I willing to let go? Because once you
yes,
start this journey, ships disappear. Like you stop, you were cool with people. I used to have parties at my house like once a month.
yep.
Nobody has been here in like
I
years.
barely heard from them since,
Eh,
but
And
it's
then
okay.
like when you're asking for help and they're messing over you, it's like you really start to see who's supposed to be around, who's not supposed to be around. And we're
For sure.
so it reminds me of that like photo where that little girl was holding that teddy bear and Jesus is like, give me the teddy bear. He had the big one behind him. Because it's
Gotcha.
like we're trying to hold on to these friendships because it's been, oh, I've been friends with them since college. Oh, we've been
And you're
friends since
comfortable.
preschool. You're
You're comfortable.
comfortable, right?
Hmm.
But you're not making room for the people that God wants in your life that helps you to your purpose. I
Yeah.
started meeting people when people started leaving.
Wow. Wow. Out
Everything
with the
God
old,
takes away, he gives back better.
new. Yes. Out with the old and with the new. Literally.
Exactly.
Literally. That's crazy.
You
So
can't put new wine in old sheep, old
yeah,
skins.
and old wineskins. That's a fact. That is a fact. Or it'll just come. It'll be messy. It'll be
Oh, I
nasty
said
too.
sheep.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I
If you
caught
read
myself when I said it too.
if you read the words, you know. If you read the words, you know. But let's be real. And in the midst of all this, we were still busy, right? We were still just trying to get stuff done while trying to make things happen. But for men that are, I guess, using it just as a scapegoat, do you think that men who stay busy, or do you think men stay busy on purpose so they don't have to sit with themselves?
I think society, women's standards, how we learned from childhood all told us that we're supposed to work, 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 work. A man isn't nothing if he's not working. So instead of being a human being, you be a human doing because you in our minds, it's I have to work. I have to always be working. So there's a guy who was probably like trying to take a nap at the house and his wife came home and she's like, oh, I gotta get up and do something. Right? Because you don't want her to come in and be mad because you're just laying around. But
Right.
it's like it's that and the fact that we're probably scared to sit with ourselves. As humans, we're scared to sit in silence. Because
Mm,
when you sit in silence, the truth starts to come out. Once you can no longer numb it, you can no longer drown it out. You start to hear God, you start to hear your thoughts, who you are. So
yeah.
it's a combination of both for sure.
So I mean, it reminds me what popped in my head just now is Julius from Everybody Hates Chris, when uh my man got two jobs. Was he truly happy with it? You know,
Absolutely not.
although he was just trying to make ends meet, doing the best that he could. But it's unfortunate he didn't really get that. Like even that episode of when Chris ate the chicken, ate the big piece of chicken. Like
Right.
in a sense, that was his fulfillment. And some snot nosed kid ate ate my happiness, if you will, just
Right.
my ability just to take a break. So for those who aren't able to sit with themselves, how can they how can they try to just take a break and say, all right, this ain't right. What
Right.
I'm doing right now, this shouldn't be. Um, so how could that work for them to kind of realize what they're in?
Well, first you need to find the time. And I say find it because you have the time. You just have to
Yes.
you have to figure out what time works best for you. For me, I get up at 4 o'clock every morning.
Okay.
And that's my quiet time before my family gets up. Especially if you're a married man, the best time to do it, as a man in general, really, the best time to do it is first thing in the morning. Your testosterone is the highest, so
Hmm.
your mind is the clearest. You're fresh, you're renewed. Sit
Yes.
with God first. Some people
Yeah.
they wake up and it's cell phone. Do this all day.
I'm
It's
trying my best not to. Yeah.
and it's hard. So one of the things I did was like turn like the focus modes on,
Hmm.
sleep mode. I don't let any notifications come in after like 9. So you have to
Right.
really get structure within yourself and come up with a
Bro,
schedule.
I'm D&D all day long. I don't care. But still somehow, some way
Absolutely.
they come through.
But it's that but see, when you're looking at your phone, it's those little dopamine hits that you're getting. So it's
Yeah.
like you're addicted to your phone. 'Cause have you
Yeah.
ever sat like recently sat in the place and not sat on your phone and just looked around?
Yeah. So I've become more intentional with just sitting down, like, or if I'm in the house, like cleaning or whatever, like I'll just toss my phone in the room or whatever, and I'll literally, just for a couple of hours, just to be without. And it feels amazing. I can't lie. Like this
Exactly.
past Monday,
Taking a
yeah, this
walk without it.
yeah, like this. Well, I won't look at it. I'll try to just put some music on if I'm doing that walk or whatever. But like in where I work, like it's kind of in a neighborhood area, so I'll just listen to my surroundings and things of that nature. But yeah, those dopamine hits. It's funny because I've learned. Well, of course, dopamine is that reward.
It's your
That,
reward
yeah,
trigger.
yeah, this is a reward trigger, and a lot of us get a cheap one, and
Oh yeah.
it looks like many things, like being on the phone, porn.
Yeah.
Let's be
Weed,
real. Yeah, we
drinks,
all that stuff.
women.
Yes, and I'm at a point where, oh, this ain't it. Like for me, I'll be totally transparent. This is what the show is about.
Right.
I've had a issue with porn for a long time, like a long time, and it's
Same.
and a good friend of mine, name is JC. Thank you again. This year, in January, one of the first episodes that I did for having guests on, I just talked about what I want this year to look like and what I'm working on, which was like intentionality, being consistent, and stewardship of whatever I have. He heard it. He called me and he was just like, "Yo, bro, I'll never forget." He's like, "Yo, bro, really love the episode. I hear the vulnerability and the transparency in your heart, and I really want this to be, amazing. So, slight prayer and stuff like that." And he was just like, "Yo, I'm just gonna speak this over your life too. Like, yo, the porn and the masturbation, like that gotta go because that is a hindrance." And it was just like, oh hell, like yeah, he
Now I
heard.
gotta let go of my thing.
I was just like, oh man, like he heard what was right because that is just something that I've always and a lot of men deal with, but they stay silent with it.
But see,
Um,
you cannot really stay silent about it because the people
right.
who've overcome it, we can see it.
Yeah.
We can see it from a
Yeah.
mile away, and it's
Yeah.
everywhere. And
Yeah.
I was so glad when Texas banned it here because I was like, I have
They
no
did.
excuse. Yeah, they banned it here.
Wow. That's incredible.
Completely banned. So like
Wow.
now if you go to a site, it will say like it's banned here. Like you have to do
Wow.
age verification and all, like show your ID and stuff. And it's like
Wow.
those extra steps helped me
Who wants
say,
to do that?
pass,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
then Twitter turned into a porn site. I was like, okay, I have to get off
Yeah.
here.
I
But I
deleted my.
asked that question. Yeah, I deleted mine too. But I asked
Mhm.
that question because when you sit in a public space and you look around, 90% of the people are in their phone or on
For
a
sure.
computer doing
Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
Nobody's really enjoying the moment anymore.
No. No.
And it's like phones have become so norm that everybody's addicted to it.
Yes.
And so
Very much so.
that right there in yourself is hindrance right there.
Yeah, and it's scary because, like, why am it's so crazy how our lives are just packed into this one
Yeah.
little piece of glass and wires inside.
Your phone is basically your computer.
Yeah, and I get tired of it sometimes. I'm just like, yo, let me touch some grass, bro. Like, let me breathe. And
That's
I
a
think
beautiful
from
thing.
yeah, like it's really
I go
nice,
lay in the
especially
grass sometimes, bro. I'll hug a tree.
yeah,
Like I just be like, I have
no,
to release this.
yeah, yeah, and I'm at a point where, like, especially when we deal with one thing, we kind of have to find something else to take away that take away the feeling of it, like the porn instance. So I know for me, I've been going crazy as hell in the gym
It's
because
the
I
gym.
know
Start there.
it and is giving me the peace, and I guess the yeah, is giving me the true dopamine of what we
Right.
all need because I am earning this, like, from
Yeah.
the every rep, every set. I don't care. Everything in there is when I get the actual dopamine, it was actually well deserved.
It's worth it.
I
Delayed
don't want.
gratification.
Yeah,
If you think
exactly.
about it, back in the day, the food was better when grandma and them marinated the food
In the oven,
versus
right?
microwave
Hmm.
society, or I'm just going to season it and then throw it in the fryer. It's like it ain't even got time to make love to each other yet, man. It has to seep in. But that gym, like those reps like that in the gym, it's building
Hmm.
more than just your physical. It's building your mental confidence. It's building your
Yes.
mental strength, and
Yeah.
it's just building you as a person, as a spirit, because you're bringing good energy into your body. And when you get those good dopamine hits, the ones that come after hard work, it's way
Yeah.
worth it, and it's more natural.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just like one of those things. Yeah, I mean, even in my mind today, I was like, "Dang, I really would like to watch something," but then it was the Holy Spirit was like, "Nah, like, yo,
For
no,
what?
for
Yeah.
exactly, like, for what, bro?
It's been a
What are
long
you?"
time, and I still randomly will have those thoughts, and I'd be like, "For what?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
for
no,
what?
seriously, for what? And what helped me, and for guys out there too, there's a app called Man Streak, and it literally just I'm all about, like, I'm trying my best to be all about consistency and discipline and just, like, being on a set order for a length of time. So I think I'm about to hit 40 days, which is the longest ever. I called JC and
Congrats.
appreciate you. I told JC, I said, yo, like, what you said had haunted me.
But
But
sometimes
man,
that happens, though.
but
That's
it
why you
was
have
the
to be
best.
willing to let go of your friends, bro, because you're gonna
Yeah,
meet somebody in your life who's going to be the
yeah,
one who speaks over you, that
yeah,
triggers something, because your
yeah.
spirit knows that you need more.
Yeah, so I was like, "Yo, those words haunted me, but it was the best thing that I've heard all year." So thank you for that, because I told him when I hit 30 days, and I was just like, "Yo, bro, this was very needed." So I thank God that He used you as the vessel in order to get me straight. So it's one of those. But even with all that, those vices and stuff like that, that also still ties into survival mode because you're still ignoring yourself. Like, you're at the end of the day, you're still not living. You're just either trying to live from through somebody else and not figuring out who you truly are, or you're just at a point where it's just like, yo, it is what it is, and who wants to be there? Like, why you still have all this life? Why are you dying? Although you're here,
Exactly.
you're dead. Nobody wants to be dead. So what can you say? Where's my question that I had? I have sorry, so I look at my
You're
questions that
good.
I had.
I will say,
Oh,
while you're finding that, I will say,
okay.
like, those cheap dopamine hits are frying your
Mhm.
nervous system.
Mm,
Your body and your mind will never relax. And if you think about it, our physical bodies do hold trauma. It
mhm.
holds like stress. That's why you feel tight. That's why your body aches. That's why you have random headaches. It's really
Yes.
like people think it's all physical, but it's really not.
No, 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 seriously. Since letting that go, I've slept better. My body's been getting, and I guess because of being in the gym for 2, 3 hours a day now, is I've been helping out. Like, officially 41 pounds. Like, I'm back to my
Sick.
college weight, like, almost
Blessings,
10
bro.
years ago. It's just been amazing to have the delayed gratification and seeing it in real time actually be quicker than what you actually think it was
Yeah.
before you get the results. So it's been amazing just dealing with that and just and two when you get to a point where you know what's right and you know what's wrong, and
Right gonna always win.
regardless, and
Right will
you
always win.
like, yo, just go ahead and get right. Like that's
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like it okay, it's understandable when you why do you keep on touching the stove and you know you're gonna get burned?
Exactly. But see, and a lot of men don't realize when you're watching porn, you're masturbating, you're really draining yourself. Every time you do it, one, you're having sex with a demon. Start there. But two, you're literally draining your life force. Your
Yeah,
sperm is life force. When
yeah,
you put it into a woman, she gives you a child. That's life
yes,
force. So
yeah,
when you're just willy nilly, just
right.
you are literally draining yourself.
The New York in me, that's crazy. That was crazy. But that's just New York in me. We the king of pauses. Well, that was crazy. But truthfully, no, truthfully, like, it's for those who are listening. If you're dealing with it, just understand that it will never help you. It will never make you better. You're only falling into a
Illusion.
just a yeah, a delusion, bro. Like
Because you have
I'm just gonna be
unrealistic, you
real.
start to have unrealistic expectations for your sex life,
Yeah,
and your mind is fogged. Like
yeah.
you're just
Like
literally just there.
never be your best person. And then these people out here who are performing, they're crying for help. But that's a whole nother conversation that could be another episode. But these people out there, they're just doing it because it was their last resort to
Yeah.
get through life. So for you, while you have yours and you have the ability, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. But I'm like this conversation is so good, and I'm glad that we have a couple of episodes to do. But I didn't
Absolutely.
want to take too much of your time left. But I think for the steps that you took, well, we kind of talked about those steps, but for the common person who is really just sitting there saying like they finally realize that they are in survival mode.
Mhm.
What are, I guess, some what are the best steps for them to start to get away from that mode and just starting to realize like, yo, there is more for me in this
Mhm.
life. And maybe it's not going to happen all the way tomorrow, but at least I can utilize certain steps today to get
Yeah.
me there quicker.
One, open your Bible. Let's start there.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
if you never read it before, start at Genesis and then just take the journey after that. When
Okay.
I first started, I may read like every couple days, but
Hmm.
and it's like sometimes when we start things, we look for the consistency part of it, not realizing like the consistency part is going to come later. You just
Yeah,
have to get in your mind like, okay, this is a part of my habit. This is a part of my routine.
for sure.
Reading other books, Untethered Soul by Michael Singer is a really good one.
Hmm.
Atomic Habits showed me my life. Like,
Okay. Okay.
it really was like, and I reading that book, I was like, man, this is why I'm acting like this. This is
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
The Garden Within by Dr. Anita Phillips is a really good book as well.
Hmm.
Work out.
Yeah.
Just even if you have to just go to the gym, drive to the gym. If you have to start there where you just drive but don't go in, at least you tried to go to the gym. Like
You did
you're
the
you're
best you could.
programming your mind that okay, I have to go to the gym. Step
Yeah.
by step. Give yourself grace because this is new territory. Your mind is going to freak out, your body's going to freak out. Find community. You never know who you'll meet in community. Whatever free like things you can find online, coaches and stuff, make sure they're reputable, make sure they're good coaches.
Yeah.
And just get in those rooms. Don't you don't have to say anything. Just listen. Right. Just have
Yeah.
it playing. Find podcasts that can pour into you. Um, community with like brotherhood. Like we as men, you're going through your things, I'm going through my thing. It's like I don't want to bother you with my thing because I know your thing is already heavy. But we're not meant to lift up our lives together. We're supposed to have community. We're supposed to have just how women have other female friends, we're
For
supposed to
sure.
have guy friends.
For sure.
And really just start to do the internal work for yourself. Start therapy if you need to, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll say one thing I can give them today, one assignment I can say is really sit down with yourself for 30 minutes, right? And talk to your inner kid, write a letter to your inner kid and
Mm,
about the things that you went through. Let them know that it's okay. You have to go back and get yourself. You have to go
mm,
back and get that kid because Until the Soul talks about it. Your kid is still there, but it's just locked in this fortress. You have to go get it and say, "It's okay. I love you." Like we may not have gotten love back in the day, but I love you now, and I thank you for helping me get to this space. So it's
wow.
a lot of pouring into yourself, a lot of like just getting rooted in God, pouring into yourself physically, mentally, and everything will go one thing at a time. You don't have to do this whole life radical change tomorrow, but get in the
Yeah.
community and then listen to men talk and see
Yeah.
where you can go from there.
Yeah. I don't want to be nosy. But when you talk about
Go ahead.
what was your childhood like? I mean, you talked about it saying that, you didn't see the best examples. But for you, how did you go through that? I can say for me, like I was the only child until my mother got remarried. Um, and then I picked up five stepbrothers, and those guys love them. Love them. Yeah. But no, and my stepfather, he did the best he could as well.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I meant to say that because my mom and my father, they divorced when I was 6. Yeah, they divorced when I was
And those
6.
are
So
developmental years too for kids.
mhm, mhm. And yeah, I mean, I could say it was good, but there was still things that I wish I had. And like I
Absolutely.
said, the just didn't have the best example. So for you, trying to save that inner kid, what was that inner kid like? Or what was that
Man,
kid like? Mm,
he was actually fun, bro.
okay,
Love to dance, loved gaming. I've been a super huge anime nerd since like the 90s. Like that,
gotcha.
I always found my thing. But I had to minimize myself in my household as a
Mm,
kid. And that's hard
mm,
for a kid because kids are naturally just them, right?
yeah,
So I had to minimize myself because like when I was 7, my parents actually divorced. I seen domestic violence in at that night when the whole fight broke out. Like I seen it all. Like I seen my dad get hit in the head. I watched him get stitches. I've seen it, right? And through all that, like nobody said, like, "Hey, are you okay?" Because I
right,
wasn't okay.
right.
Hindsight 2020. And in that process, my dad found his current wife. So not only, am- right, not only are my parents divorcing, but my dad is in a whole nother relationship now, and so now I have to like navigate them two, and then I have this other person who not really my parent,
Yeah,
but they're around, and so it was a lot of like it built a lot of abandonment issues because as parents when you're fighting, some parents don't think about the kids, like.
right.
And so as a kid, you're just sitting there like, I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do with this. Like, I don't know how to react to this. And that was me. So I dealt with a lot of abandonment issues. I didn't have any confidence in myself.
Mm,
Like I really had to minimize. I was always compared to my brothers. So I'm the
okay,
youngest of 3 boys. So I was always
gotcha.
compared to my brother or my dad, his current wife. They did have a daughter. But at that time it was the 3 boys. And like I'm getting compared to them because they're like athletes and like my parents are at every event, like baseball, football. But for me, nobody was there. I was by
Mm,
myself every
wow,
time. So anytime that happened, that kept watering the seed of abandonment, right? And so it took me for a while. At 16, I was just like, if y'all don't care about me, why do I need to be here?
got you.
But it took for like me being in football with these coaches who are pouring into us. Like it's not even about football. My high school football coach, his name is Alan Aldridge. He was a Super Bowl champ with the Broncos. So he came in with champion
Yeah,
mindset. And he was just like, this is bigger than football. I'm teaching you guys how to be a man. And that was literally like the first time I really saw it. Because my dad was there, but there's a difference between like being present and just being physically present.
right,
Because
right.
you could be in the house and not teach me anything, but you're still
No,
present, but you're not like present
absolutely.
in my life, impactful. So my dad was that guy who was always at work. And so as the kid, as a son, I'm looking up to him. I don't see anything that I like. And I knew it was wrong. It didn't feel right. Kids know, kids are very smart.
Yes.
And so I had always told myself, I said, man, I will not work that hard.
Wow.
And it took a while. And now I have kids. My day, like ever since I quit 9 to 5, my days are a lot calmer.
Yeah. Yeah, as it should, as it should. So, was the driving force to be who you are now? Was it because of just how your father was and how he operated?
Mm, I think it started off with me trying to prove myself. Like, hey,
Gotcha.
look at me, see me, because
Mhm.
nobody sees me. Like, hello.
Yeah,
It started off as that, but I realized that was not a good driving force.
gotcha.
And then it kind of grew into like, okay, now I have a family. Okay, like I really have to lead this family. Like, what does that mean? Like, I have
Yeah,
no idea what this means.
yeah.
And so it was just a progression.
Got you, got you. I'm kind of similar, kind of similar. Yeah, kind of similar stories. I mean, I remember there was an incident where where my dad got kicked out. And then after that, yeah, I don't remember this, but my dad was just like, yo, when they were doing I guess finalizing the divorce and what have you. And, I was going back and forth to see my dad in Jersey, like he had weekends and stuff like that. And then all that stuff just kind of stopped abruptly. But he was saying that I knew what was going on because as kids we know what's up.
Kids see
And
everything.
yeah, he told me he
Man.
told me that I told the judge that yes, I know that my parents love me, but they don't love each other,
Mm.
and that's okay. And I was like, "What the? All right, I
Kids
guess I
know.
knew it. Yeah, like I guess I knew it." But and this could be a part of another episode too. With with my with my dad not being there, it wasn't even all his fault.
Right.
It was not his fault because there were other people that played a hand in me not having the proper relationship that that he was looking to have with me. So I had resentment for a good while, a good long while, with my father until like I said it before we got on, until like I was about to graduate. No, maybe my sophomore or my junior year of high school. I got a phone
Okay.
call out of nowhere that day, and he just laid it out all on the floor, like everything. And it was just like, wow, I never heard that before. Um,
Hmm.
I'm, 15, 16, 17 years old, never heard none of that stuff before. Down to the I love you. Like, just
Mm.
never really
Never
heard
heard it.
never
Never
heard it,
heard it. Man, it was so
never
bad for me when I got my family and like my kids started speaking. It was I love you, and I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know how to process it.
it's weird for me still, I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's
It's
weird for
weird.
me
It's weird till you get comfortable with it, but you have to lean into that discomfort.
Yeah,
Like even
yeah,
with like, and I know we're trying to wrap up, so I can leave off with this, and we can start the
yeah,
next episode, right?
right.
It's not too late to build a relationship with your fathers.
For
As
sure.
men, we need it.
Yes.
I dodged mine for a while, but I was
Mm,
also mad at my mother, and I could never figure out why I was mad at my mom.
okay.
And when I really got sat down and thought about it, I was mad at her because she took time away from him.
Mm,
And
mm,
so part of
mm,
me healing was now I kick it with him often. Like we were just at lunch like what 2 days ago, like
okay.
and now it's like okay, I'm getting that time back, and so we have to
Yeah,
stop looking at what happened in the past because you're still wasting time that you could be using now.
for sure. No, that's serious. And oh, dang, it's so much, yo. It's so much. Like, because what we was talking about before the episode, I want to share it too. So, yeah, um, that's what my dad told me the other day. Because for those who don't know, my grandfather had dementia, and it wasn't the best relationship between him and my father, my grandfather and my father. And he called me last week telling me like, I don't want that to be our relationship. And that like I'm in the gym, so I'm like, oh, I gotta run these miles. I guess it was just the right timing for him to tell me that. And
It was God
I, it,
timing. Because
yeah, it was
sometimes
God.
sometimes as our brains, whereas we're moving, our brains are, you're creating energy. So
Yeah.
your brain is actually more receptive when you're in like an
Yes.
energy state.
Yes. So it was just one of those like, oh shoot. Yeah, life is life. So you'll just never know when that time. So I gotta capitalize on these moments. So when he said that, I'm just like, yo, you're right, because what you didn't get and what I didn't get as a child, I I can damn sure get it now. And when he told me he loved me on the call and stuff like that. And one other thing, anytime we see each other, he'll always kiss me on my forehead. And when I tell you, I don't even want to cry right now, bro. But I freaking melt because
It's on.
it's the inner kid that didn't get that. That is just
Yep. You
like,
satisfying
just
them.
I'm
Wait till you have
28 years.
kids. I see my son is 8. And I sometimes I look at him, I'll be like, bro, at 7, my house was chaos. But at
Mm,
8, you get to live young, wild, and free.
yeah, yeah,
Like you get to
yeah,
just be an 8-year-old boy who has no recognition of like bad. So like you
yeah,
see when you begin to have kids, you see yourself in them randomly.
yeah. And that's what I'm nervous about. I can't lie, because I know my
But it's healing
kids.
though.
But I know my kid's gonna be like me, and I'm just gonna I don't even know how to take it. I don't even know how to take it, but it's going to be the best of times, and I'm excited for that.
Absolutely.
But with that, it's just like, huh, like that inner child, man, it really does need to come out. So with you
Mhm.
saying that, I know I got to do some things we talked about earlier too. I'm starting therapy tomorrow. I mean, although this show's being will be put out on this coming Monday, but tomorrow Saturday, I'm starting therapy, and I'm just like,
Start somewhere. And
we
you
got we
join in
got
my coaching program.
yeah, for sure. I'm down for it. It's like, yo,
Yeah. You
we got
you
stuff to
have
do.
to. You have to,
We got
you got work to do. You really have to go back and get your kid. But if you
yeah,
realize that's why I say inner king, because it's also the inner kid. It's a flip
yeah.
of it. It's reframing
Wow.
it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. We've talked about so much in this hour and some odd, and we were supposed to talk about survival, but like I said, like this is this is manhood in all its
But
aspects.
that's a part of the survival, though. Everything we talked
Yeah,
about is a part of the survival and how to get out of it. It just
yeah,
doesn't. We just didn't say survival mode in every sentence, right? But
yeah,
this is literally it. It's literally the
yeah.
journey of finding yourself, going to get your kid, healing in any way that you can, self care, self love. It's really the gist of it.
Yeah. So I could kind of end off with this because, well, before we end off with that, how do we reach you? I mean, they're gonna see y'all for a couple of more times, but for the guys and even for the girls to check out the podcast, how can we reach you, man?
Again, the podcast is called the Inner King Initiative. I actually have a TikTok and Instagram for it. It's Inner King Pod. And then my actual personal page is the Adam Wilson _ on TikTok, Threads,
Mhm.
and Instagram.
Yes. All right. So I'll be putting that in the show notes. This is yo, just get ready for more. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Just get ready for
I'm
more. But I
cooking
want to
now.
leave. Yeah, we're cooking with grease, bro. But I want y'all to pay attention to this, man. Listen, survival mode, it might have kept you alive at one point, but at some point it becomes a prison. Um, every man has to decide, am I going to keep surviving, or am I finally going to live? So let this episode be that first step to say that you're going to live today and forevermore. This has been an amazing episode. This has started to free up some stuff in me. Um, and hopefully Adam had picked up something from me that he can take back with you. But all we want to do is help you guys out, just to be who you're supposed to be and to fulfill those things that you should have done a year, a day, eons ago. So let's live on purpose, and let's do things right this time around. So, Adam, if you got some last words.
Oh man. Prioritize yourself, prioritize your health, prioritize the love that you give yourself, and remember who God called you to be.
For sure, for sure. Well, listen, this is just part one. We got a lot of ways to go, but
Yeah.
for this one, This has been Ezra Unscripted. We love you, and we'll see you later.